Mead halls. What were they, and where did they come from? Oftentimes our imagination is stirred when we watch films or play video games depicting tall and long wooden halls filled with a band of drinking and merrymaking men, telling olden tales of honor and glory. A celebratory mood fills the hall with lively music of harps, flutes and drums accompanied by singing and dancing. The long wooden table is laden with food and tankards with drinking mead and wine. The fire lights up the room, and warm light and the sound of burning wood and embers cracking at the hearth in the center of the hall creates the feeling of warmth and comfort. Olden warriors of Scandinavia and Germanic Europe created mead halls or feasting halls. They were initially simply large buildings with a single room. From the 5th century onwards through to early Middle Ages, such buildings were the residence of a lord and his retainers. The mead hall was generally the great hall of the king. It is vividly depicted in an epic poem of Beowulf, which was translated by J.R.R. Tolkien. It was considered his magnum opus. Herod, the great mead hall of King Hrothgar, offers a great deal of information about Hrothgar's society. First, it tells that the outside world is a hostile place. It is cold, dark, hungry, lonely, and it is filled with dangerous predators. We know this because Beowulf celebrates the mead hall for its warm fires, its light, its ample food and drink, and its community of friends and brave warriors called the Geats. It is a place of safety and a place of physical comfort. It is definitely superior to a natural world that is not benign but frightening. Nature is represented by monsters such as Grendel, forces of chaos and objects of terror. We also learn that warrior strength, valor, and honor are the most celebrated character traits in this culture, because they are what keep the mead hall safe as an oasis of comfort in a harsh world. The mead hall has rich displays of armor, and allows space for each warrior's arms in the hall. Those like Beowulf who risk their own safety and lives to physically defend the mead hall from the threats are the most highly honored in the society, for they allow the society to survive and thrive. Mead halls are also widely depicted in video games and films drawing on the Norse culture and mythology, such as Elder Scrolls and Skyrim, also Great Hall of Rohan in Lord of the Rings, and the Vikings. The drinking mead plays an important part in the mead hall, from which it derives its name. It's probably the world's oldest alcoholic beverage. Mead is essentially fermented honey and water, and has a very long history. Spices, fruits, grains, and hops can be added to create diverse flavors. It is referenced in the ancient cultures of China, India, Greece, and Egypt. The earliest documentary evidence suggests that a fermented honey beverage was drunk in India some 4,000 years ago. Despite its ancient roots, it's almost a certainty that it flowed its way through the Middle Ages. By now, we're well aware of the Vikings' penchant for drinking, and since they spent many days battling the elements of nature, it's only fair to assume that the alcohol provided some much-needed warmth. Vikings brewed their own beer, mead, and wine. Mead, however, often considered a drink of royalty, was most likely reserved for special occasions. To conclude our video, let's read a fragment of Beowulf describing the legendary Mead Hall of Herod. It fell as he ordered, in rapid achievement, that ready it stood there, of halls the noblest. Herod, he named it, whose message had might in many a land. Not reckless of promise, the rings he dealt, treasure at banquets. There towered the hall, high, gabled wide, the hot surge waiting of furious flame. Nor far was that day when father and son-in-law stood in feud for warfare, and hatred that woke again. With envy and anger, an evil spirit endured the door in his dark abode, had he heard each day the din of revel high in the hall. There harps rang out, clear song of the singer. He sang, who knew the tales of the early time of man.